gonna just grab a snack.
Okay, world waits on you.
We're waiting in our new creative space. This place is coming along pretty good. Look at this table.
You know,
like
we have
tech
to show
company
them,
level.
right? No, we have to show them. Is that bag of iced tea still in Taylor's?
Oh my god.
You just came out of a trailer with the sack of iced tea. That trailer right there, he came out of that door.
I don't aspire to be much.
Scotto right now is living all of his dreams. That's his office in a trailer, already accumulating parts. I don't know, is this from rail car?
This might be rail car.
Or wood car. That's a pedal box from something industrial.
Look at all these NOS bottles. What are we doing with this?
Honestly, that's kind of sick. Who cares? You just leave them there. We're still building this place out. It's got a lot of work to go. The bodega, our storefront, is still massive work in progress. We got these rad bend pack auto stackers so we could have some cars on display. We got the K truck, Hertz 86, the Kazi, Scumbug. These things are actually really rad. When they're down, like on the weekends, we'll pull out 3 cars so they're out front, and then the cars that are up top will actually just sit here, and it's not like a big lift with a lot of posts. It's just kind of like a podium for the car to stand on, which is pretty sick. You don't have the 4 posts on either side. You could actually see the sides of the cars.
Yeah. Hey, you snacked up? Can we get started? You want some? Oh, are those butt snacks? Anyways, I think we're here to go talk about the Camaro.
One of the cars that was on the stacker. You guys have been asking about it. Secret project.
There's a dog.
Hey, don't look.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to see there, all right? We came here for that. You guys have been asking time and time again, every single day, every single episode, where's the Camaro? Where's the Diesel Camaro? What happened to the Camaro? Did Gale Banks kill you guys? What happened to the Camaro? It's right there.
And the truth is, we know we showed it to you guys on that episode a couple weeks ago, but we didn't want to do this like unveil in the midst of showing you all of our other junk. We figured we'd do its own episode to really talk through
Seeing this thing.
We know some of the last stuff you probably saw with it was when Gale Banks completely roasted us, but it's all right. Gale's a pro, we're not. We made a bunch of mistakes, but we're actually gonna try to work with Banks on V2 of this when we get to it, but that's probably later this year, maybe even next year.
Yeah, the Anderson composite stuff came out really nice.
Yeah, that's sick. We got the lip on, we got the side skirt on.
Look at the ride height.
You approve this?
No, man, it's fake.
Oh, it's fabricated because of the uneven concrete? Yo, you know if you don't have a super low car, but you want a low car, you've definitely taken a picture.
You park in the grass.
It's the best this thing has sat in a while. And kind of like the livery, teamed up with 3M to get, you know, the flat black, gloss black, the punch out right here. Dude, the carbon stuff, so you can still let them know. This is all the Anderson composite stuff. Got the big old cowl hood, the fenders, doors.
Very bummed to cut that hood because it is so nice.
Yeah. This was terrifying.
I'm like super stoked on how it came out. Custom rotiforms, massive stop tech brakes, custom KWs. I mean, this thing is pretty set up.
I'd say my favorite part is the duckbill. I like trunks with duckbills.
It has a very GTR look on it. For all you guys that didn't watch the Knuckle Buster series, our man Dan here, pretty much what happened was a couple years ago, Dan built the E36. The whole thing was like, take a popular chassis, buy a shitty car, which was the 4th gen Camaro, mush them together, make a drift and grip car. And Edelbrock said, hey, we have these diesel cylinder heads. We'd love you guys to do another fun build with it, but we didn't want to build a bro dozer. So the original plan was like, let's take another popular drift chassis, which was the 350Z at the time, and slam a Chevy V8 in it, but this time it'd be a diesel. Well, Dan went to the junkyard and measured.
It does not fit. The motor itself is 35 inches wide and it's 39 inches tall. So like a 350Z is like 42 inches tall. so the motor would have been almost halfway through the windshield.
We would have needed one of those pro stock cowl hoods that goes like to the roof.
And I want to say like the strut towers were 31 inches or so, but the motor's 35 inches wide. So that can't physically happen. You'd have to move all those points out. We'd have to change everything.
So we were like, okay, what else could we build? Can't do 350Z. So we were like, what, Dodge Magnum, like a wagon?
Yeah, I really wanted to do a Dodge Magnum because I haven't seen one of those in a while.
But then we decided on the 5th gen.
Strictly because of, look at the strut towers.
So yeah, this
So-
thing is super wide.
Yeah, just the strut towers alone, like look at how far apart they are. And obviously, it's still a really tight fit.
How much does this motor weigh?
I want to say 900 pounds without the trans.
And no turbos and stuff, right?
And no turbos and stuff. Like
We got
that
two
is crazy.
big old precision turbos, a huge gate. Like, it's a
Compound
lot.
setup.
big compound setup.
Compound
It
And it
weighs
sits-
quite a bit. And plus the heads themselves, they're so much more dense. So those weigh more
Right.
than the factory heads.
We got this thing built. It was a really long journey because not only was it an engine swap, but like we put a huge Winters quick change in the rear, a really safe roll cage, had to do a ton of chassis R&D. But we got this thing running and went to the dyno. It made what?
Almost 1,000 horsepower, like 985
What torque?
and 1,500 foot-pounds of torque.
1,500
Whoa.
foot-pounds of torque.
That stump pulling right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually with a boost leak, and that has since been solved. And that was running about 60 to 70 pounds of boost. Now it
How
should
much?
be around 80.
How much?
Should be 80 pounds of boost now.
That's a whole lot of boost.
That's a lot of boost. I don't know what that's going to equate to as far as power numbers go, but we were fearful of hitting 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. That's why we got this crazy monster transmission. Those transmissions can take a lot, and even they were worried, so they had to take this thing apart, and they rebuilt their built transmission
That's wild.
to take the power from something like this with a massive Thor converter too. And the converter is a very gradual converter because we didn't want all that power to hit so hard that
Yeah.
we couldn't drive the car.
We also learned a lot from like Chuckles came out for Hoonigan vs. the World, and I think like it kind of blew our mind with like we built this car thinking like kind of drag race, put a drag wing on it, things like that. But what we saw is like the diesels make so much torque that like Chuckles runs a huge wing with a lot of angle of attack, and it's to like actually help traction when it
Yeah.
hooks. Because this thing, when you drove it,
Right.
just blows the tires off at any speed.
Did we cut to the rolling burnout yet?
No, that's right now.
So we tested this thing at Santa Margarita Airport, and it did a burnout pretty much the entire length.
I've kind of even lost interest in going that fast just because this is the coolest rolling burnout car that we ever had.
It's the best burnout machine that
the
we've built
most
so far.
effortless rolling burnouts.
Yeah.
It just lights
Yo, I drove it at Santa Margarita Ranch, and it is the most bizarre driving sensation ever. There's like no feeling, it's awkwardly smooth, and like 1% throttle equals massive burnout at any speed. You could be going 60 miles an hour and you just tap it and it just lights up the tire.
It's No, it's not. It's such a strange machine too because you're literally bolted to the cage, and this thing's pretty well mounted to the chassis, so you feel everything.
Can we go
It
look at this
vibrates
cage?
like crazy.
Because this cockpit is pretty wild.
Honestly, the most intimidating thing about this car isn't even the engine, it's this containment seat. The containment seat just looks dangerous.
So,
Like, I know it's meant
That-
for safety, but it
that-
just looks like it's in a scary vehicle.
right, like I'm not a huge fan of going very, very fast in cars, and I wanted to be safe. So I was like, who does the most flipping? And so I looked at the dirt car.
Who does the most flipping?
Yeah. So I looked at the dirt car guys, and I was like, okay, I want one of those seats. The guys that roll 20 times and walk away from it, I want one of those.
But then you gave yourself a knife too.
Oh yeah, I put a knife in there for safety.
Yo, can we
So
talk
shoot.
about this rear end? Because I don't remember. I mean, it was a while ago, so I don't really remember it. But what did we do in the rear?
So it's all been changed out. 'Cause
This is a Copo setup, right?
Yeah, this is a Copo setup. Basically, it's IRS from factory. We took all that stuff out and put in a huge Winters 10.5.
God damn! Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's a monster.
Custom KW coilovers and
I
this-
honestly don't remember the size of the axles, but they are
they're huge.
massive.
They're massive.
It's
this
like
thing,
the size of my forearm, and
this thing looks. The axles are huge. The whole rear end looks like it belongs on the back of a semi truck.
And that, again, is to take all the power. Where we had it mapped out, we're supposedly supposed to be around 215 mile an hour top out. That's kind of the tallest gear we could get set up with this. I did not think that it would rev so high, and they just kept pushing it. We could push it even further. We're playing it safe for now, because the way it sits, we have more than enough power to achieve our goal at 200 mile an hour. When we drove it, we went somewhere around 145, 150, but I mean, we don't have the traction to get out, and we don't have enough real estate when we tested it.
It's spinning way too much.
It's spinning
So
too much.
what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna team up with BBI Autosport, the guys with all the Porsches, because they know a lot about aero and going fast. So we think we can apply some of their techniques to help keep this thing a little bit more planted and put the power to the ground.
I'm a drift kid. That's not my forte, putting this thing to the ground. So we got to go with some professionals that can actually do this, because at that speed, it is fairly dangerous. And we want this thing to achieve our goals, and we want to race it. We want to do cool stuff. We want to have a really, really good trap speed at the mile. So we got to go to somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, not us schlubs.
Can you fire this thing up? Because there's something about hearing this thing idle and looking at a Camaro that is just kind of mind-blowing.
It's very fun.
Dago tugboat.
So quiet.
Just in case he's...
I love the turbo sound. All the
Turbo
spoolies
sounds
sound
really
good.
nice.
He's gonna send it?
You better not. Here, Charlie, just in case he does.
It'll do it effortlessly.
Send her home.
What, third, fourth?
Son of a bitch.
By the way, this is a 315 slick on the rear. 305, sorry.
And they're all warmed up and sticky now for you. Those are actually bad sticky.
And it still doesn't care. I'm kind of nervous, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to say, we were like, oh, let's get fire extinguishers handy. We never got any fire extinguishers.
And we also lost Dan. Oh my God.
Because I couldn't breathe.
He's here, he's here.
Woo! You can tell the wheel speed based on how melty that tire is. Look at that tire. Look at this hot box.
Try and stay in there. Do we have a respirator?
Should do it again.
We should get a respirator. Let's do it. So you can stay in it.
I
Because that's
could-
the
I
only
could-
reason you got out
That's
of
the
it.
only reason I lifted out. I didn't even get to shift a second. If I shifted a second, I would have blacked out in there.
Damn. How long have we had this?
For
that
so long.
That might actually be a prop. I don't know if that's a real gas mask, but
It's got a filter.
Yeah, it's got a filter in there.
Filter.
looks like it'll fit him just fine.
I'm gonna puke in this mask. It's gonna be disgusting.
Oh my God.
This fucking thing, let's go.
Oh my God, Dan almost died.
Give me a breath.
That's what I was gonna shut it off. That's why I couldn't. What you guys were doing.
Oh my God. we almost- Oh, yo. Damn.
That is sick.
That was the most savage. You got, look at all over your back. You got tire marks on here. You got, oh my God.
That was amazing. That was
Ah.
That thing is disgusting. I think it's hot. We should spray it.
So if you're wondering where the Diesel Camaro was, it's right here.
Look at these freaking marks. Did you see that?
Nah, that shit was light.
Oh.